Good afternoon, everyone. This is yours truly, John Michael O. Berzosa, and our topic for today in Organization and Management is about Chapter 5, which is staffing. So our focus for today is about Module 11, which is staffing, recruitment, selection, and training. Our quotation of the day comes from Mark Boyer, and according to him, give a person a job. You can help them pay some bills, teach them how to find a career, and you provide them sustenance for life. It is very similar to the Chinese proverb of give a man a fish and he will be able to eat for a day, and teach a man how to fish and he will be able to eat fish for the rest of his life. Huh? So ganun po ang scenario ng ating topic about staffing, recruitment, selection, and training. You're providing someone with a job, with work. Huh? As they say, para sa ekonomiya. So first is staffing. So for an organization to achieve its goals and ensure its intended operations function properly and effectively, an organization needs people with skills, competencies, knowledge, and also capabilities. An organizational structure without its people, together with its policies, will only be functional and operation if there are people involved inside the structure. Imagine a building, a structure without people on it. It will be, why did you build this structure? For an organization needs structure, but a structure needs people to function. In fact, people are considered as the organization's most important resource or even asset, because people either create or undermine an organization's reputation on how its organizational goals are directed. Tao pa rin po ang nagpapatakbo, tao pa rin ang nagbibigay ng goals. No? So you cannot remove people aspect from an organization perspective. So for the definition of staffing, it is a management function. No? So function siya ng management. That devotes itself to acquiring, training, appraising, and compensating. Sino? Si employees. Employees are the star of the show. It is concerned with proper placement, growth, and development. No, hindi lang sana all, no, kundi of all members who compose the organization, so that the organization may be able to attain its ano pa nga ba kundi goals, no? Goals effectively. It is done to achieve the organization's ano nga ba, no? Kundi mission, vision, and overall direction, pati na rin yung strategies. AKA alignment, no? Alignment. And last, if the company has hired the right people to do the job, it can perform competitively in any environment. So regardless kung anong company po yan, kahit saan mo padalhin yung organization na yan, it will not just survive but thrive as well. Characteristics of staffing. So there are 4 characteristics of staffing, and number 1 is that it is people-centered. Ano po ba yung people-centered? Literally, it is concerned with all people in all the levels of the organization. At anong klaseng mga tao ang meron sa isang organization? There are many broad classifications of people in the organization, and it may compose of the following. So they may be blue and white collar workers, managerial and non-managerial personnel, and professionals. No? So staffing requires the application of human skills. It is concerned primarily with training and developing people. Therefore, managers must be able to use their human and interpersonal skills to properly provide guidance and training to their subordinates. So staffing is a continuous function. It is not an activity that is undertaken only temporarily. Tuloy-tuloy po yan. Why? People always come and go and leave. No? Bihira lang naman po yung umalis tapos bumalik agad ang tao. Staffing must ensure that the required manpower is available in the organization at all times to avoid any problems. Ano po ba yung avoid any problems na yan? No? Overload sa trabaho, stress. No? Pag ganun na nangyari, it will unleash a domino effect. Baka mag-resign din po yung mga taong naiwan. Halimbawa, dati 6 kayo, nag-resign yung 2, di 4. Sasaluhin ng 4 yung trabaho ng 2 na umalis. Ngayon, nai-stress sila kasi same lang po ang bayad, dumami po yung trabaho. So as much as possible, the vacancy must be filled. Also, staffing is a logical process. No? At bakit po siya logical? No? It is sequential. It is a process. It is procedural. No? And cyclical. Paulit-ulit po yan. Wala pong stop. No? May umalis, palit. Umalis, stopping ulit. Ganun po ang nangyayari. The staffing function is responsible in identifying the present level manpower requirements. Baka naman akala mo 10 tao lang kailangan dyan sa position na yan, no? Sa isang department. But in reality, you need 15 or even 20 people. So there are 10 people lacking. 5 to 10 people that are needed to fill up the jobs. Okay? As a result of employee promotions or resignations. No? So kaya nagkakaroon ng vacancy is either na-promote yung tao, or may umalis, or may nag-retire. That will affect an organization's manpower requirements. So pag may umalis, may nag-retire, may na-promote, then maapektuhan po yung workforce natin. And last, staffing involves people. Of course, people are the most invaluable. For me, it's not just valuable. It's invaluable resource in any organization. We are priceless. Ang buhay po ay walang halaga. You just cheapen it kung ang prinsipyo mo ay napalitan ng pera. But, again, we also need to work. We need money. So, it's just a balance. Okay, so job analysis and its elements. So, tatlo, no? First, we will start with job analysis. So, ano po ba yung job analysis? Kailangan pag-aralan po muna yung mga trabahong kulang. Ano po ba yan? So, staffing cannot be done without a job analysis. Imposible pong mangyari kung hindi ka mag-a-analyze. Tama naman po yun. Also, it is the foundation of the entire staffing function itself. Job analysis refers to the collection and analysis of all relevant information and facets about a job. So, puro trabaho na po. Walang personalan, trabaho lang po. That is done in a systematic and orderly manner. So, kailangan maayos po. Hindi po bara-bara. Hindi po magulo ang pagsasagawa ng isang job analysis. From the job analysis, na-analyze mo na yung trabaho, you must fill up the job description. Ano naman po ang job description? It's a formal statement of the relevant tasks. Ano ba yung kailangan gawin ng trabaho na yan? Key responsibilities, working arrangements, work environment, duties, responsibilities that a job entails. So let's say, Ang kailangan na job description is an accounting clerk, no? Hindi mo naman siguro padadala yung accounting clerk sa isang job site para magbantay ng trabaho ng mga construction people. Hindi naman po yun yung pinirmahan niya. Hindi naman po yun yung trabahong para sa isang accountant. Huh? It is also includes the information kung saan nga, no, yung work environment. Baka naman nakala ng empleyado ang work assignment niya ay sa opisina. Yun pala tatapon siya sa field, no? Or sa satellite, or let's say sa bangko, no? Hindi ka naman mismo sa headquarters magtatrabaho, but rather sa isang branch ng bank. No? Also, kailangan niya malaman kung kanino siya magre-report. No? Sino ba ang tatay at nanay niya sa opisina, or tatay man lang, no? Who will that person report to, no? And as well as yung compensation. Syempre, let's say ang job description mo is manager, no? Of course, that person has the right to know magkano po yung magiging sweldo niya in the long run. At hindi po yung pagpasok niya, ay ganito lang pala yung sweldo, no? Mabubulaga po siya. Job analysis also includes the job specification. No? Ano naman po meron sa job specification? Skills, education, and experiences na meron ka. No? So, experiences and personalities. No? Kasi, bakit yun ang mga kailangan? Ano ba yung talento mo? Baka hindi naman siya match dun dito sa una, no? Si job description, baka hindi naman mag-match dito, no? So kailangan mo yung skills. Education naman, no? Baka meron silang requirement na kailangan tapos ka man lang ng college. Paano po kung senior high lang, no, ang natapos? Then hindi po kayo pwede do sa work na yon. Is it a form of discrimination? No? It's a subject for debate, no? Or yung ibang trabaho, kailangan may PRC license ganito, may ganitong certification, no? Or nagtapos sa ganitong school. Usually yung school hindi masyadong pinofocus yan ng mga company. Sa simula lang siguro pag first time mag-a-apply ng trabaho, they consider that. But as time goes on and you earn your experiences, you pay your dues, no? Natatanggal po yun. And speaking of experiences, ilang taon ang requirements ng job? Tatanggap po ba sila ng fresh grad, no? Or bagong pasa ng board exam? O kailangan may 1 year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years experiences, and so forth, no? Ayan. So yun po ang relationship nitong tatlong ito, no? The job analysis and its elements. So next is recruitment. So what is recruitment? No? Here is the definition of recruitment. It is the process of getting and attracting. So guhitan natin to, getting and attracting. No? Actually pareho lang po yan. You cannot get if you cannot attract, no? A pool of qualified, another keyword here, qualified applicants to fill a vacant job position. Minsan meron mga company ng trip lang, no? May vacancy, naka-acquire ng mga applicants, natanggap na yung applicant, then biglang wala na palang vacant job position, no? So nasayang lang yung mga resources ng mga nag-apply, even the HR, even the company resources itself. No? So next, goals. Yun pa rin naman po, no? So as you can see, iisa lang. Attract and acquire, na iba lang, no? Yung get naging acquire lang. Same lang po, the qualified applicants. And encourage the unqualified. So ano po ba yung unqualified? Balikan po natin yung kanina, no? Si job specification, no? Usually yun yung mga hindi po considered as qualified, no? Sila yung mga considered as unqualified, yung mga hindi pasok sa job specification, to voluntarily withdraw. Withdraw from the job application to make the review process easier. So, minsan si HR na gumagawa ng paraan niyan. No? So, we call you back after 2 weeks. No? We'll get back to you. No? Those are, I do not want to say it, no? Those are bravo shera. Because if they want to get back at you, then they will do so immediately. Yun po yung key dun. No? Pag sinabi lang, we'll call you back after 2 weeks, no? That means they're searching for other people who are much deserving or much more qualified than you are. No? We'll get back to you, then ibig sabihin we will not get back to you. Yun lang po yun. But still, regardless, no, there are still hiring issues prior to recruitment. Lagi po. No? Kaya nga po merong nangyayaring recruitment kasi may isyung nagaganap sa isang organization. And what are these? Number 1, hiring regular employees. No? In this day and age, bihirang-bihira po ang regular employees. Mauutak po ang mga organization. They will do things to make you not regular. Okay. Number 2, hiring full-time or part-time. Let's say sa school, are you gonna be a full-time employee or are you gonna be a part-time employee? No? Minsan naman yung part-time is a choice of the employee itself. It gives them more freedom, no? But there are some employees who prefer to become full-time. Lalo na sa education, at least nakatali ka sa isang institution, no? So, siguro sa education, medyo merong flexibility for full-time or part-time. Pero sa corporate, medyo mahirap po yung full-time, part-time. No? As much as possible, people prefer to become regular employees. Next, hiring through an independent contractor. No? Or an employment agency. So usually, ito yung mga company na ina-outsource nila yung recruitment. No? Meron dito yung, ang tawag nila dyan, yung mga job hunters or headhunters. No? So rather than the company spending resources in seeking, evaluating, ipapaubaya na nila sa isang headhunter yan. O ikaw na pumili. Ito yung sweldo. Ito yung mga job description na kailangan, job specification. Here it is. It's up to you to screen the applicants. I don't care. Basta within ganitong time, meron akong ma-fill up yung vacancy. Yan. Employment agency, usually naman, pag you're planning to become an overseas Filipino worker. No? So, dito po tayo dumadaan kadalasan. Bihira po yung rekta. Huh? So, in advertising the job vacancy, there are 2 types of recruitment. One is the internal recruitment. Ano po ba yung internal recruitment? No? Giving priority to applicants from current personnel of the organization. No? So, minsan doon na. No? Ops, may kilala ko. Ops, ako na lang po, boss. Pwede po ba akong lumipat ng division? No? Pwedeng ganun. Ops, etong classmate ko, boss, magaling to. Pwede siya rito sa company. Stuff like that. No? So, e.g., no? Examples given, transfer, promotion, employee referrals, recruiting former employees, etc. Ako naranasan ko po si internal recruitment. No? Employee referral, naranasan ko. Recruiting former employees. No? So, matagal na akong wala sa company, 3 years. Nirecruit nila ako. Balik daw ako sa company. Sige lang. Diba? Wala naman po akong masamang tinapay sa company. So, as much as possible, no, when you're leaving the company, do not burn bridges. Who knows? No? They might need your help or you might need their help. Next is external recruitment. So, outside the company naman po si external recruitment. No? So, kanina, current personnel of the organization ang issue, no? Ayan. So, ito naman outside the company. So, example, media sources, yung mga classified ads, no? Or sa internet, job search, schools, company websites, labor unions, employment agencies, and etc. So marami po. No, hindi ka nila kilala, hindi mo rin sila kilala. Wala kang kakilala sa loob, hindi ka rin nila kilala. Walang character references. So ano po ba yung prefer ng organization? Both types of recruitment have its own sets of pros and cons. For the internal recruitment, here are the advantages and disadvantages. First, we go to the advantages. So it improves employee morale. Ito mahalaga to, no? Para mga sundalo rin tayo mga empleyado. No? So pag mababa ang moral, walang ganang magtrabaho ang mga empleyado. No? Next, it costs less. 'Di ba? Mas madali. O boss, ako na lang. Boss, may kilala ko. Wala nang job street, wala nang LinkedIn, wala nang post ng job vacancy sa Facebook, 'di ba? Wala nang screening of applicants. Wala na po. Mas mabilis. Tipid pa po. And kilala, no? In one way or another yung papasok na isang empleyado. Next, less training time. Lalo na po dun sa mga katulad ko na prodigal son, nagbabalik loob. Dahil dito, culture and systems, familiar ka na, alam mo na kung paano palakad ng amo mo, no? Paanong kultura sa isang organization. No? So familiarity makes a lot of difference. And safeguards the business intelligence within the company. No? Boost intel. No? Lalo na yung mga may kinalaman sa mga confidential, no? Mga data. Yan, importante yan. Disadvantages, on the other hand, meron pa. A succession of employee promotion. No? So, mas madali, mas smooth flowing ang promotion kaysa sa external recruitment. I have a professor in past sa DPWH. No? He was already from ASEC to USEC, but never siyang naging secretary ng DPWH. No? Lagi siyang nalalampasan for promotion from outside. No? So mamaya balikan natin yan. No? So disadvantages, ito, no? Nepotism. So some of us are angry with our politicians kasi mana-mana na nga daw, political dynasty, but we ourselves are also guilty of this. No? Minsan, ops, boss, yung anak ko bagong graduate, baka pwedeng, alam mo na, diba? Magtrabaho dito kahit sandali lang. No? Kamag-anak Incorporated. So there are companies that prohibit that thing from happening. Nepotism. Loss of moral. No? So parang improves pero pwedeng loss din. Next, political infighting. So hindi lang po mga politiko ang guilty rito. No? Kahit tayo mga ordinaryong mamamayan. Tayo mga empleyado ng isang organization ay marunong din pong maglaro ng politika. The need for a carefully planned career management. Now, for external recruitment. Okay, balikan natin yung kaninang binanggit ko. So, my former professor sa practicum, he was the third highest sa DPWH at that time. Tapos nung graduate kami, naging USEC na siya. So isang step na lang, secretary na siya ng DPWH. But unfortunately, during both the Pinoy and the Duterte administration, outside yung naging secretary of DPWH. I think si General Edane or Esperon, I'm not sure. Either or both of them, no? Former generals. Tapos nung time naman ni President Duterte, si Mark Villar naman, no? From outside. So hindi na siya na-promote until such time nag-retire na lang siya. No? So sad life. So, here are the advantages and disadvantages naman ng external recruitment. So, biruin mo, dalawa or tatlong beses siyang tinapakan sa paa. No? Na itchapwera siya for promotion. So, it widens the pool. No? Widens the pool of potential candidates. So, minsan kung mapapansin nyo, mag-apply kayo sa JobStreet or sa JobsDB or sa LinkedIn, you will see there are 150 applicants, 200 applicants. Minsan kahit 20 applicants, marami na po. No? Compare sa internal na isa o dalawa lang. Okay, mas marami kayong mapagpipilian, pero minsan mas mahirap din pong pumili pag marami. No? Brings new ideas and fresh perspectives. So katulad ko po, no, wala po akong kilala sa MBC. No? I don't know about my other colleagues. Maybe they know someone, no? Or maybe they're just like me who applied externally. No? So each of us have our own collective experiences. Kanya-kanya naman po kaming natutunan. Hindi naman porket natutunan ko, natutunan din po ni, kasi natutunan ni Pedro, natutunan din ni Juan. Hindi po lahat ng tao ganon. No? So, my ideas might be better than them. Their ideas might be better than mine. So, they bring fresh ideas, no? New ideas and fresh perspectives. Meron silang natututunang bago. Hindi siya yung parang tipong, ito yung alam natin, dito tayo. Dito tayo nasanay eh. Ito yung nakagawian na natin. So, it brings new ideas. Diba? Ibang klase, parang, diba? And finds job candidates that may have knowledge of competitors' business intelligence. Masusulot mo. No? So, let's say, you're operating a hotel. No? Tapos, nakakuha ka ng GM or housekeeping manager ng isang sikat na hotel. Like, let's say, Manila Hotel, Okada, and many others. No? Mga 4 or 5-star hotels. And ikaw ay nasa 3. And you're planning to go up. No, itaas mo yung star ratings mo. Let's say 2 or 3 ka lang, gawin mo 4 or 5 kung kakayanin. No, you learn something from them. Disadvantage, possibility of selecting someone who does not fit the job. No? Yun yung isa sa problema. No? Baka nga siya yung pinakamagaling, siya yung pinakamatalino, but that doesn't mean that swak, no? Sabi nga nila sa Tagalog, swak sa pwesto. No? Or shoot sa banga. Baka hindi siya yung tamang tao para sa trabaho. No? Parang it's a case of pinagtagpo ngunit hindi itinadhana. Next, the possibility of causing moral problems among existing employees. No? Kanina, politics. Ngayon naman, conflict. No? Baka minsan magkaroon ng civil war sa office. No? So I know someone who actually did that. No? Bagong empleyado siya, maganda yung portfolio niya, maganda yung resume niya, marami siya napasukan ng magagandang trabaho, but the problem is, pagpasok niya sa office, hindi siya kasundo ng mga tao. No? She was isolated, no? Babae siya. Usually, babae naman ng mga tao sa office. Hindi niya nakasundo yung mga seniors and even her colleagues. Wala siyang kakampi. No? She's stepping on people's toes, whether consciously or unconsciously. No? Nasasapawan niya yung mga nasa itaas, nasasaktan niya yung damdamin ng mga nasa ibaba. So, after a few months, sayonara, di ba? So, conflict is another problem here. And, longer adjustment. Ayan nga yung tanong natin, sinong mag-a-adjust? No? Sino po ba mag-a-adjust? Ikaw o si company? No? Siyempre, ikaw. Hindi ka naman chicks eh. Bakit ang company mag-a-adjust? No? So, usually companies give you a 3-month adjustment time. You're continuously evaluated. Okay ba si ganito? Okay ba si ganyan? Usually, nag-uusap yung bisor mo and the HR department in evaluating your performance. So, the recruitment process. No? Alam naman natin yan, lalo na yung mga girls. No? So, screen applicants, yung mga manliligaw nyo, checkin nyo muna yung mga ugali nila. No, ganun din sa company, screen the applicants, mapagkakatiwalaan ba itong mag-a-apply na to, baka naman mabulaklak lang yung resume niya, but in reality, no, hindi natin alam, nakulong na pala yan, or nakapatay, may pending case, or ginawa niya yung cardinal sin ng mga empleyado, no, yung doling yung dating ang boss, no? It's unofficial, no? As much as possible, kung kaya nyo kausapin yung inyong mga boss, do that, no? Hanggat maaari, wag nyo ipatulfo si boss. You might win, no? Kahit sa dole, i-NLRC niyan, you may win the case, but that's an indelible black mark, no? Markado ka na ay naku, ito si kunwari itong estudyante na to, itong empleyado na to, kinasuhan niya yung dating amo, baka gawin din niya sa akin. So, screen applicants, conduct a background check. Talaga bang bar top notcher to? Talaga bang license to? Talaga bang may qualifications to? Talaga bang masters? May master's degree ba tong empleyado na to? Talaga bang 10 years experience? O baka naman hindi siya nag-resign kundi sinisante, no? Nilalagay lang niya sa resume niya na nag-resign siya, no? Or baka naman, yes, magaling nga siyang manager pero marami naman siyang immoralities, no? So, continuously conduct a background check. Contact potential candidates for preliminary interviews, no? Hindi naman lahat ng potential candidates na nakukuha ng company. Minsan meron pa rin namimintis yan, no? Sablay pa rin. But try to contact the people you think are most fit, no? Are most going to fit with the company's vision, mission, and values, no? Hindi kahit na ikaw yung pinakamagaling na empleyado sa buong mundo, hindi lahat ng company matatanggap ka. So, nagkakamali rin po ang HR. Tao lang sila, no? So, they can just check yung mga tingin nilang worth it, no? Para dito, same as step 1 and 2. They get to know their employees or potential employees, potential candidates much better. So ito, out of topic lang tayo konti. Recruitment Innovations. Ito na yung mga uso ngayon, no? Kasi especially during the time of pandemic. Getting referrals from current employees. So minsan ginagawa ng mga organizations to, no? Many organizations offer cash rewards to employees. So nagiging commissioner na po yung mga employees who submit names of people who subsequently accept employment. Bakit, no? Kasi kung ang empleyado mismo ng isang organization, let's say ako, empleyado ko ng Ayala Land, at ako magre-recommend ng tao para magtrabaho sa Ayala Land, then that person will feel comfortable, no? That person will think na, uy, mukhang okay yung pinapasukan ni ganitong tao, no? Kasi bakit niya ako ire-recommend habang wala akong trabaho ngayon, no? Of course, employees will not recommend organizations that don't treat them well or fair. Hindi na nga sumusunod kunwari sa minimum wage, tapos magdadala ka pa ng tao, no? Mandadamay ka pa ng tao may sakit sa ulo, no? So this is the cheapest and most reliable method of external recruiting. So let's say gagastos ang company ng 30,000. Kunwari lang, no? Para maghanap ng potential employees. But if someone just recruits ay natanggap niya, no? Tinanggap siya ng company, you can give the employee, let's say, kahit 2,000 na lang, no? Bonus. Then 2,000 is bigger still, no? Cheaper. Way cheaper than 30,000 pesos. No? Pera pa lang po yun. Wala pa yung time and effort ng HR. Next is utilization of social media. Ito na po yung pinakauso sa lahat, no? Social media. LinkedIn. Sa US na uso yung Twitter, no? Doon sila naghahanap ng mga employee. And Facebook. Among many others, pati si JobStreet, JobsTV, ano ba yun? Meron pa no? Pero yun yung mga pinaka-alam ko, no? So social media is a huge factor in today's day and age. And non-traditional sources to find dedicated employees. No? Ayan, katulad nito. No? Siyempre, bihira ka naman maghanap ng tao na ex-con. No? Sa job site, dun po bumabagsak ang tinatawag nila mga taong halang ang bituka. No? Yung mga nakapatay, nagnakaw, ng rape, no? Mga nakulong. Kasi hindi na basta-basta matatanggap sila sa normal society. No? Halimbawa, nakapatay ako ng tao. Tingin nyo ba, tatanggapin ako ng, kunwari na lang, SM? Tatanggapin kaya ako sa 7-Eleven kahit yung ordinary jobs lang? No? Kahit part-timer, baka hindi ako tanggapin ng 7-Eleven. Baka nga kahit sa sari-sari store o panadero, hindi ako tatanggapin pag nakita nilang nakapatay ako. Or ng rape. Diba? So, bihira to, no? Bihira yung mga companies na tumatanggap ng ex-convicts. On the other hand, kabaliktaran naman, mga junior soldiers. No? I think soldiers are great employees, great assets, kasi sila po yung sumusunod sa organization. Hindi sila basta-basta pasaway. So, if a soldier decides to get, to be rebellious, then there must be really something horrible going on in the organization. Usually, opobos lang sila. No? Guerrilla recruitment, no? Yung mga iba-ibang klaseng technique ng pagre-recruit, etc. And many others. No? So, ito yung mga pinaka-prevalent na current trends in recruitment. So mag-case study muna tayo. No? This one is from I Love Rewards. The source is Management by Daft. So I Love Rewards is Innovations in Recruitment. So here's the scenario. So I Love Rewards has 2 offices, one in Wellesley, Massachusetts, and the other one is in Toronto, Canada. Meron po silang 38 employees. No? Tapos nag-post sila ng job opening. Hindi natin alam kung gaano karami so far. No? There were 1,200 applicants for just 9 openings. Biruin mo, no? Siyam lang ang kailangan. Pero nag-apply 1,200. Diba? Dami. Ilang percent yun? Thus, they were overwhelmed by the challenges to find the right person. Sino ba yung Mr. Right or future wife? Sino ba yung tamang tao? The right fit for the right job. So, yun yung problem ni I Love Rewards. So, ano yung solution ni I Love Rewards? So, nagsagawa sila ng speed dating screening process. So, they send them a letter, no, in reply, thanking them for their interest to the job opening. And they invited them to an open house event. Yun nga, yung speed dating screening process sa Toronto. So, hindi sila makikipagjowa sa mga empleyado or sa HR, no? Kikilalanin lang sila ng mga employees. So, 800 applicants right away. So, 1, 2, 800 kagad yung natanggal sa Squid Game, no? Sa speed dating screening process. 800 applicants no-showed the event, thus only 400 appeared. So, tanggal na kagad. No? So, siguro out of those 800 na hindi nagpakita, there are some of those who are more deserving but they no-showed. No? So, ibig sabihin, hindi mo prioritize si I Love Rewards. Kasi kung prioritize mo, kahit busy ka ba nun, gagawa ka ng paraan para umaten. No? Para lang matanggap ka sa company. So, only 400. No? So, kanina, 1, 2. Ngayon, 400 na lang natira. Squid game dating tuloy. Speed dating screening process. Next, at the open house, the first floor was set up where candidates and employee could mingle informally. So, nakakausap nila yung mga empleyado ng company. No? From the employees mismo. The next, upstairs was the speed dating area, where each prospect had a one-on-one conversation with the employees for 5 minutes. 5 minutes is already a long time, no? Mahirapan ka na mag-describe ng sarili mo for longer than 5 minutes unless super yabang mo. Within that space of time, people were able to ask questions. No? So usually, ang ginagawa nila, imbis na magkwento, nagtatanong sila ng questions about the company. And that's a good indicator, no? And they get a pretty good sense that the employee fits the culture. So nakikilala nila yung mga empleyado, itong tao na to pwede to sa I Love Rewards. Itong tao na to medyo hindi siya fit sa company natin. Kahit anong galing niya pa, kahit magna cum laude pa siya, he or she is not the right fit for our organization. So continuation, by the end of the evening, yung 400, squid game na naman tayo, no? 68 na lang ang natira. Who were further screened and called back for individual and group interviews. So, yun nga, bumalik na sila sa normal process. Isipin mo from 1 to, i-screen mo lahat yun. 'Di ba? So, at least dito na sila nagsimula nung hiring process sa 68. Technically 400, pero 68 na sila nag-normal setup. So, 68 until such time na napuno na yung 9 vacancies. Okay na. No? Mission accomplished. Job well done to I Love Rewards. No? Kudos to them. And when the company wanted to fill 20 new positions the next year, no? So sumunod na taon, may umalis na naman ng mga 20 or siguro nagkaroon ng panibagong positions, ganun din ang ginawa. I Love Rewards didn't ask for any resumes but scheduled 2 open house events. So dalawa na. To start the speed dating event once again. So hindi na nila kwento kung paano nangyari, pero most likely same scenario as the previous slide. No? Yun po ang mga strategies. Now we are done with the case study. Dito naman tayo sa focus topic, especially for you senior high school students. Tips for job seekers, how to get hired. So tip number one, know the company. What do you know about the company? For example, no, iano ko yung sarili ko. I applied at Manila Business College. I admit, before na wala akong masyadong idea sa Manila Business College. We had a project nearby Manila Business College, no? Construction ng residential house. No? So I already saw Manila Business College way back 2016. So nag-explore ako, ano ba talaga tong Manila Business College na to? Of course, it's obvious it's a Manila Business College, it's located in Manila, it's a business school, it's a college. No? Pero know the company better. Sino ba yung mga tao behind the company? Ano ba yung mga courses? Anong klaseng culture ng mga students, and etc. etc. No? As the quote here says, knowing a company brings you success. So what do you know about the company? Hindi ka naman siguro mag-a-apply, no? Tapos pagdating sa interview, ay ano ba tong company nyo? Anong ginagawa ng company nyo? Anong meron dito? Bakit ganyan ang trabaho nyo? Di ba? Imagine that. It's awkward. Sabi nga ng mga bagets nga, yeet, no? Yeet. So, next. Okay, so tip number 2 is the opportunity. No? Don't wait for the right opportunity, create it. Ikaw na mismo ang gumawa ng iyong opportunities. Ikaw na mismo ang magsariling kusa. Huwag ka nang aasa. Huwag ka na maghihintay na parang si Juan Tamad na bumagsak yung ano bang prutas yun? I think mansanas yata, no? Bumagsak sa bibig niya kasi tinatamad siyang abutin o umakyat dun sa puno. No? Ikaw na mismo. Tip number 3, the right attire. Ito yung dapat ninyong pormahan. Siguro kung medyo tipong hindi naman ganun kataas yung position, pwede pa, no? But as much as possible, for young professionals, wear business casual or professional clothing. Ito tanggap naman to eh. Ako, usually itong suot ko during interviews. Kasi magastos naman yung Amerikana, no? So, kahit long sleeve lang, necktie, pants, especially for the gentleman, you should learn how to dress properly. No, you should learn how to dress sharply. Sa ladies kasi maraming options, but business casual is a great start. No? Maintindihan ka naman ni HR lalo na kung fresh graduate ka, kung hindi ka pa ganun ka-aware, but practice it. Rather than watch yung mga Rappi Tulpo. I mean, I watch Rappi Tulpo. No? But you should also watch this kind of videos bit by bit. how to wear properly, especially during your interviews, or how to wear these types of clothes for business events, or even just yung ordinary business day. Yeah. So here's the business casual, and this one is the professional. This one is my favorite tip. No? Tip number 4. Time waits for no one, and time won't wait for me. Diba? Wala pong maghihintay sa atin. Time is gold nga, sabi nila. So, please arrive on time. No? At ano po yung definition, sir, ng arrive on time? Let's say your interview is around 9 o'clock. Do not arrive naman ng 8 o'clock. No? Para ka namang desperado sa trabaho. No? Para ka nagmamakaawa. And do not arrive naman ng 9 o'clock sharp. Or worse, do not arrive ng 9:30 or 10 o'clock. No? Kahit hindi pa ikaw ini-interview, be there mga at least 8:30 to 8, no, quarter to 9, 8:45. And wag din yung mag-a-absent kayo, magno-no-show. No? That's a huge demerit. Baka hindi na kayo tawagan or i-reschedule. No more. Malabong-malabo po yan. So please arrive on time. Sir, hindi ko kabisado yung area. Malayo. No? It's your duty and responsibility to study. No? Pag-aralan nyo. No? Kung pwede, agahan nyo dumating. No? Wag kayo pupunta agad dun sa office or dun sa area. Siguro maghanap muna kayo ng kahit 7-Eleven, 'di ba? Mag-relax muna kayo, no? Tapos pag mga 8:30 na, then that's the time na dumating ka. Kasi naka-record din po yung arrival time nyo, no? Especially kung yung mga building yan, may mga guard. So naka-record yan anong oras ka dumating sa area. But now, no, iba naman po ang setup natin, naka-Zoom meeting po tayo. Pag sinabing ang meeting is 3 o'clock, at least naka-ready ka. Naka-standby ka on or before 3 p.m. Wag po yung interview mo is 3 p.m. tapos magpapakita ka 3:30. No? So I experienced 3 Zoom interviews during the past pandemic time. No? Yung una dun sa first school. So I got hired 10 o'clock na. Naka-ready na ako. Standby lang ako. No? And then I made the teaching demo ng around 12. Meron pa pala na una sa construction. No? The time was 12 o'clock. So kahit lunchtime, nandun ako. Naghihintay ako 12 o'clock. In-interview nila ako around 30 minutes din. No? So lahat ng rules, regulations. So pinaliwanag nila sa akin kung ano yung mangyayari. And the third interview is of course here at Manila Business College. So please don't waste the time of your interviewers. So ngayon may advantage po yung mga malalayong lugar, no? Pero kung let's say back to normal tayo or new normal should I say, pag-aralan nyo, no? Meron naman kayong mga resources, meron kayong Google Maps, meron kayong Waze, no? Pag-aralan mo kung paano mag-commute. Kung hindi talaga kaya ng commute, di mag-taxi ka muna temporary. Tapos pag-aralan mo yung pauwi. Para alam mo yung papunta kung sakali man na matanggap ka sa company or you get called for a second or third interview. Diba? And with that, ito yung mga tips ko. So congrats, you are the chosen one. No? So usually ang mga companies, there are 3 stages. No? Ang joke ko nga dyan minsan is 3 stages of hell. No? Yung preliminary, ang mag-i-interview sa iyo si HR, yun yung usual trend. No? Second is yung boss, magiging future boss mo, no? Quote unquote future boss kung matatanggap ka, or manager or equivalent. And third is either the CEO, no? Nakaramdam ako one time na yung may-ari talaga mismo ng company, no? And I'm not sure kung anong company yun. Board of directors mismo yung nag-interview sa akin. I wasn't accepted, pero it was an honor to be considered as one of the main candidates. No? So wala naman po kasing personalan yan, hindi ka naman nila kilala. Paano ka pa personalin? Di ba? Unless kilala ka nila, but meron silang lihim na galit sa'yo. No? So you're the chosen one. So, selection naman na po tayo. No? Nasala na. So, there are 7 stages of the recruitment process. So, usually, iniisip natin 3. No? Sa interview, siguro 3. Or yung iba, 2. No? So, let's hide my... So, first, you have yung application, screening. No? Siyempre, lilinisin muna nila yan. Mag-check muna sila ng mga pwedeng tao, no? Or possible candidates. And then, after that, tatawag na sila for the initial interview. Sino yung mga pwedeng sa tingin nila ay okay. They are invited for an interview. And then those candidates that are interviewed, they will narrow it down for an assessment. And then, yung mga hindi bumagsak, yung mga hindi pumasa sa assessment, of course, they are no longer in the running. No? Yung mga accepted naman, magkakaroon ng reference and background checks until such time na nakapili si HR ng mga, let's say, a possible list of 5 to 10. No? They will narrow it down. Ibibigay nila yan sa middle management or even top management. No? Until such time na isa na lang ang natira. No? And by that time, there will be a job offer and contract. Sir, paano kung hindi natanggap to? Halimbawa to, itong tao na to, tinanggap siya. No? Meron na siya napasukan na iba. Babalikan niya ulit tong 3. Di ba? Ganun yun eh. Pag itong 3 na to meron ng ibang trabaho, babalikan niya tong 5. Ganun lang po. So, paurong lang siya. Or, pwede naman niya gawin, mag-internal recruitment na lang. No? Yan. So, selection is a method by which the human resources or HR section of an organization searches for and recruits. No? So, nagre-recruit sila ng mga possible employees to fill identified. Kailangan, syempre, alam mo yung open position. Baka naman mamaya nagre-recruit ka, wala naman palang job opening. No? Of course, HR should know better. To fill identified open positions within the company to match as strictly as possible each person recruited to the requirements. No? Ibig sabihin, yung tatanggapin nilang tao, at least malapit-lapit dun sa mga criteria nila ng requirements. Siguro hindi mo naman makukuha lahat yan eh. No? But at least majority. Halimbawa, 3 kami naglaban-laban. Ako 9 out of 10. Siya 8 out of 10 requirements ang na-match ko, no? Or na-fulfill ko. Yung isa 5 out of 10. So definitely it's either ako o yung isang naka 8 out of 10 requirements. Next, employers assess applicants' characteristics in an attempt to determine the fit. So usually yung background checks or character references, doon nila malalaman kung baka nga magaling ka nga, di ba? Pero yung ugali mo naman or yung values mo ay hindi nagmamatch sa amin. Di ba? As much as possible, people stick to each other. The fit between job and applicant characteristics. Baka nga isa ka sa pinakamagaling, no? Pero hindi ka naman extrovert. No? Paano ka ilalagay sa front desk kung suplado ka or mataray ka, 'di ba? Or hindi ka magaling mag-compute tapos dinala ka sa accounting department, no? There must be a fit or alignment. Next, several selection devices are used for assessing applicant qualifications. Yung pinakamadalas ay yung application form, interviews, employment tests, reference checks, and assessments. Continuation lang ng selection. Choosing the right candidate is of vital importance to the success of the organization. Siyempre, tao nga the most invaluable resource. So ito kasi, tayo mga employees, no, will ensure that the organization must meet its goals or targets. And the greater the skill requirement and work demands of an open position, the greater the number and variety of selections. Mas sasalain ka nila, mas mas elaborate yung kanilang evaluation to. No, 'di ba? Iba kasi yung selection ng, let's say, rank and file employee compared to, let's say, searching for the next CEO. 'Di ba? Syempre CEO 'yun. Hindi basta-basta, hindi biro ang paghahanap ng panibagong CEO ng isang company. So elements of selection, one of which is the interview. So interview is used as a selection technique in almost every job category. No? Mula sa pinakamababang trabaho, no, na pwedeng maisip hanggang dun sa pinakamataas na work in nearly every organization. And there are three types. You have the structured, non-directive, and panel interview. No? So, I experienced all of these. No? Yung mga, si Ayala ang mahilig sa non-directive. No? Parang paupuin ka niya, I'll give you 5 minutes to tell me something about yourself. Yun po yung pinaka, I think medyo intimidating din kasi wala kang direct guidance or walang guidelines kung ano yung sasabihin mo. It's up to you. You're just going to scream your heart out. No? Okay, for the structured interview, it's a set of standardized questions that are asked of every applicant, so comparisons can easily be made. So default question. Pare-pareho po kayong tatanungin ng same question. Kunwari, tell me something about yourself. So lahat tatanungin, lahat ng applicants yun ang question. No? So there are types of structured interviews. The biographical. So yun nga, ask about the person's previous life. Hindi yung previous life talaga, no? Life experiences, no? And work experiences. Ano ba yung nangyari sa'yo nung bago ka magtrabaho, nung college? Nung first job mo, no? So parang ikaw mismo yung gumagawa ng autobiography mo. Next is behavioral. You ask people to describe how they have performed a certain task or handled a specific problem. So parang tatanungin ka, anong gagawin mo pag ganyan ang nangyaring senaryo? Diba? Yun po yung behavioral. Or anong gagawin mo kapag sinuntok ka ng amo mo? No? You will put the reply. No? Sasagutin mo yung question na yun. And last is situational. Actually, medyo interrelated lang sila. No? Require people to describe how they might handle a hypothetical situation. No? Kasi si behavioral lang, ano yung gagawin mo? No? Bawa, usually pertaining to work. Let's say, lumindol. Anong gagawin mo? No? Si situational, ganun din naman, pero more on, inaalam nila yung pagkatao mo. No? Ito kasi more on yung ugali mo. No? Your behavior versus your attitude or your mindset. No? There's a slight difference or a slight blur between the two. And minsan pinagsasama-sama nila yan, no? Sa mga interviews, sa structured interviews. Non-directive interview, on the other hand, no, allows the applicant a great deal of freedom. So, I'm not sure if it's a good thing or a bad thing. I previously mentioned na sa ganito yung na-experience kong interview sa Ayala Land, no? So, syempre, mapapakwento ka, mapapasarap ka ng kwento, you might be telling some stories that are not really worth mentioning. Siguro ito yung mga kwento na dapat wag mo nang ikwento sa iba. No? So a lot of people make mistakes in this one. In determining the course of the conversation with the interviewing, taking care not to influence. So usually, ang nag-i-interview sa'yo dito, tahimik lang. No? Can you briefly describe yourself? No? How are you doing? Parang ganun lang. Tapos ikaw na magkikwento for the next 5 to 10 minutes. Hindi siya kikibo, hindi siya ngingiti. Pero every statement that you're saying is being quote-unquote recorded, if not written, in the minutes of meeting. The interviewer asks broad, open-ended questions. So wala, para siyang case study, no? Wala siyang tama or mali na question, na answer, no? It depends on you. And permits the applicant to talk freely with minimal interruption. No? So again, I'm not sure if it's a good or a bad thing. Depende, no? So some people, no, medyo napapasap sila ng kwento, dumudala sila. And may bring to light information, attitudes, and behavioral characteristics that might be concealed when answering structured questions. Dito kasi nakikilala mo yung tao. Kasi pag structured questions, merong preno. Eto, walang preno dito, nakaapak ka sa gas, so to speak. So, you might be saying things na hindi mo nare-realize, hindi mo dapat pala ikwento. No, you should rather not divulge those scenarios or situations. No? Ito yung pinaka kinatatakutan ng lahat, no? The panel interview or final interview. No? So, one time, ganito yung na-experience kong interview, no? Panel talaga, 3, 5. Parang ganito rin. No? The work is just a rank and file position, but I'm not sure why there are 5 people evaluating me. No? Are they the board of directors? Probably. No? So, on the panel interview, the candidate meets with several interviewers who takes turn asking the questions. So, para kang nag-apply sa Pilipinas Got Talent. No? Some organizations also use computer-based interviews. Pero ito kasi, no, pag panel interview, usually, ano na lang to usual question is like, why should we hire you? Why do you think you deserve to be hired? Yung mga masasakit sa ulo na questions. No? What makes you think that you're deserving of this position? Ganun yung mga question nila. Talagang shaking to the core, no? So to speak. Talagang malaliman ng mga questions. No? Hindi biro yung mga tanong. Because these people are not joking. They're serious. So be careful on your answers here. A slight mistake will cost you your job. No? You might not get hired because you just made a minor error in your answers. So, ingat po. Huh? So, what are the appropriate questions in an interview? Ano nga ba? So, national origin. No? It's okay to ask the name. Let's say, what is your name? My name is John Michael Berzosa. No? But it's inappropriate or illegal to ask, sang bansa ka? No? Anong ancestry mo? Anong lahi ka ba? Or sa race, no? As much as possible, do not ask, anong race ka? Mulato ka ba? Latina? Black? Hispanic? Yellow? Are you Muslim? Hindu? Indian? Greek? And more. No? Do not do that. No? Ba't ang itim mo? Parang ganun, no? Parang ang puti-puti mo, parang kang labanos, no? Parang ganun. Disabilities. It's okay to ask the disabilities that might inhibit performing the job. Bakit hindi po kayo makapagkarga ng mga mabibigat? Kasi po, meron akong mas maiksi po isang paa ko. Nagka-polio po kasi ako ng bata ko. Okay lang yan. But it's not appropriate or illegal to ask, ano ba yung mga defect mo? Diba? Parang sagad to the bones yung question, no? O baka naman may ano ka dyan, ha? Baka may sayad ka o baka mongoloid ka pala, hindi namin nararamdaman. That's a bad question to ask. Age. Huh? Ito lang siguro, are you of legal age? Are you over 18? No? It's illegal to ask the age na patanda mo na, di ba? 34 ka na, bakit ito pa rin yung position na ina-apply mo? Ba't ayaw mong mag-apply na mas mataas na position? Siguro kaya matanda ka na kasi late ka graduate. Or ano ka, no? Bagsakulero, no? Di ba sagulero, bagsakulero. Marami kang failed subjects when you were in college or nag-repeat ka o huminto ka ng pag-aaral. That's inappropriate to ask. Religion, as much as possible, do not ask. No? There are some companies that ask for your religion. Okay lang naman, but um, hindi nasusunod sa Philippines. Kahit yung age, we always put our birthdays. But in reality, you should not put our age in the CV or resume. Huh? So let's say ang religion mo is ano tawag dito? Iglesia ni Cristo, kunwari. Tapos tatanungin ka, bakit wala kayong ganitong holiday? O bakit hindi kayo umiinom ng kung ganito? Bakit di kayo kumakain ng dinuguan or some other items na hindi mo dapat tanungin sa religion and criminal record? It's all right to ask if you are convicted of a crime. If you will notice, if you are going to apply on some companies, most companies, they will ask if you have been convicted. But they will never ask you if you were ever arrested. Yun po. Tama po yun. Kasi you might be arrested but you were never convicted. Siguro nakulong ka lang ng ilang araw, nagpiyansa, bail, tapos after nung hearing, you were innocent. Marital status or family status. As much as possible, do not ask. No? Again, lagi nilang tinatanong yan, no? Kung mapapansin nyo. Lalo na sa mga suki na sa employee, sa pag-a-apply ng trabaho. No? Ako, lagi ako tinatanong, Sir, 35 ka na, matanda ka na, bakit single ka pa din? No? Dinadaan ko na lang sa joke. But as much as possible, you should not ask them. No? Or let's say, baliktad naman, single parent naman. Oh, miss ganito, no? We notice you're single pero meron kang anak. Ano yun? Na-disgrasyada ka, na ganito ka, na ganyan. Bakit? Bakit ka iniwan ng asawa mo? Bakit mo iniwan yung boyfriend mo? And so forth. That's not good. That's not a good question. No? Sa lalaki, no, mga lalaki lalo, mataas din ng fried chicken. As much as possible, do not ask them, Sir, bakit ang tanda-tanda mo na, 42 ka na, wala ka pa ring jowa or hindi ka nag-aasawa, siguro pihikan ka sa babae. No? O siguro nasaktan ka tapos natakot ka na magmahal. Those are not appropriate questions to ask. Education and experience, school studied, you can ask them, saan ka nagtapos? Saan ka nag-aral? Ano yung mga experience mo sa work? Pero, again, ito, no, hindi rin nasusunod to. when the applicant graduated, nilalagay mo pa rin eh. Hahanapan ka pa rin naman ng tawag doon, TOR. So, malalaman din nila. Especially sa US, they will always ask you, no, let's say you're a graduate of a 4-year course and they see that you graduated in 7 years. Oh, sir, bakit 7 years ang tagal-tagal mo sa college? Diba? Yun yung minsan mali sa mga employers. And citizenship. No, it's all right to ask if you're a Filipino citizen here in the Philippines, but yung tanungin mo na Filipino citizen ka ba? No? Okay lang yun. Pero sabi, siguro Chinese citizen ka, no? Or alien, meron kang ACR, ICR. That's, again, inappropriate to ask. So, top interview blunders. Ito yun, mga nakakahiya. These examples are humorous, but even the most practiced job seeker, no? Kahit matanda ka na, nagkakamali ka pa rin. They can make mistakes. Focusing on proper etiquette in these 5 areas can increase. No? Hindi naman sure na matatanggap ka kahit wala kang mali. But at least increase the chances of a successful interview. No? So please do not emulate. So communication skills. So ito yung mga sample ng scenario. Remember yung open-ended, no? Yung magkwekwento ka lang. She kept telling me her personal problems. Pumunta ka, nag-apply ka ng trabaho, hindi para magkwento ng personal problems. So, you applied for the job to know at least ano ba yung mga requirements sa trabaho. What is the job description? What is the job specification? Not telling him, kasi binastid ako ng jowa ko eh. Or, di ba? Lagi na lang kami nag-aaway ng tatay nanay ko. No? That's not the way. You should not tell them. No? HR is not your best friend. No? It's a professional contact. No? Let's keep it professional and not personal. So another is a job seeker gestured with his hands. A job seeker gestured with his hands so much that he sat on them to stop it. Ganun katindi yung kamay niya, ganun kalikot. No? Hindi mo maintindihan saan ba gumagawi ang kanyang kamay. No? Wow, grabe. No, na-distract na siya nung kamay, no? Okay, kasi ganito kasi. I want to go there. Yeah? Performance. The candidate showed up with a box of donuts and ate them during the interview. Okay lang naman po magutom, pero at the right time naman po. No? Please, if much better, eat before going to the interview. Kain na muna kayo sa bahay. Agahan nyo po gumising, magluto kayo, kumain kayo ng breakfast, or kung wala talagang time, arrive early at the company, no, near the company, no? Kumain kayo, let's say, sa McDonald's or other restaurants nearby. Wag po during the interview kayo susubo ng kung ano-ano dyan sa harapan ng nag-i-interview. It doesn't look good. When asked by the hiring manager if she had any questions, the candidate replied by telling a joke. Again, this is professionalism at its worst. No? Do not do that. Okay lang po kung di ba? Nagtanong siya ng joke. Pwede ka bang magbigay ng joke sa akin? Pero questions regarding the job is not a joke. The person was dancing around the interview. Said, "Oh, I love life. Yeah. Oh, yeah." Di ba? Ang pangit, di ba? Attitude. When asked where she saw him or herself in 5 years, the candidate replied, "How am I supposed to know? Isn't that your job?" No? HR po, hindi po sila manghuhula. Hindi po sila forecasters. Please. No? Siguro kung hindi nyo masagot ng mabuti, just answer diba? In a nice way na hindi ko po masasabi, pero as much as possible, I want to remain with your company and become one of the pillars, no, or one of the important people of the organization. Yun yung pinaka-safe na sagot. No? He or she asked me to speed up the interview because he or she had a lunch date. No? Job is life, but jowa is lifer. Wow. Grabe, no? Nakakahiya. Inuna mo pa yung jowa mo kaysa sa trabaho. Bakit? Mapapakain mo ba yung jowa mo kapag wala kang trabaho? Ha? Ano ka? Freeloader? Appearance, no? Lalo na sa business. Appearance is everything. Image is everything. A candidate for manager position. Again, no? Ha-highlight ko lang po mga binibini at ginoo. Manager position. Showed up in a low-cut blouse. No? So, kita na. Revealed a panther tattoo on her breast. No? Kitang-kita doon sa cleavage niya na merong tattoo. Okay, forget the fact na meron kang tattoo. Merong mga empleyado talaga na may tattoo. But, you're a manager. You should know better. Papakita ka sa job interview as a manager na gano'n ang itsura mo. You're applying for a managerial job position, not as a hooker. Huh? The applicant chewed bubble gum and blew bubbles. Nakakatawa talaga, no? Pero it's so childish, it's so funny. Siguro yung interviewer hindi na lang nakakibo, natawa na lang. But this is disrespectful. He or she showed up in jeans and a t-shirt with dirty fingernails and looked like he or she just woke up. No? Maiintindihan ka po ng HR kung laborer ka po. No? Construction worker, mga ordinaryong tao. Okay lang po yun na naka-t-shirt saka jeans. Kasi hindi naman po sila pang office. No? Usually sa site naman po sila. Sa field. No? Pero kung halimbawa nagtatrabaho ka na sa Jollibee, sa Mercury Drug, at least naman mukha ka namang presentable. Especially lalo na kung sa office ka. People notice. People notice if your hair is beautiful, nagpapahaba ka ng buhok, nag-aalaga ka ng sarili mo, nagme-makeup ka araw-araw, madumi yung kuko mo, they notice that. Or hindi ka nagsashine ng sapatos mo, paulit-ulit yung suot mong damit. They noticed it. What more sa interview process? One time big time ka lang. It's either they will see you one time or they will see you every time. So, they see the patterns. And honesty. It's alright to be honest, pero grabe naman to mga to. The job seeker asked to use the hiring manager's phone. Huh? Nakigamit siya ng cellphone ng hiring managers and proceeded to fake a coughing fit as he or she called in sick to his or her boss. So, nagsinungaling na siya dun sa previous work niya or sa current work niya na tinakasan niya, nagsakit-sakitan siya, tapos, ginamit niya pa yung cellphone ng manager. Diba? The disrespect. Huh? After being complimented on his or her choice of college and the GPA he or she achieved, the candidate replied, "I'm glad that got your attention. I didn't really go there." Huh? So next is employment tests. They are administered to applicants to gauge intelligence, aptitude, interest, personality, tendency to comply with rules, work ethics, and any purpose deemed as relevant to the job by the employer. And here are the types of employment tests. Cognitive. So ano po ba meron dito sa cognitive na to? So measures an applicant's thinking, reasoning, verbal, and mathematical abilities. Utak. Next is physical ability test. So ano naman po meron dito sa physical ability test? Measures qualities such as strength, energy, and endurance. So more on sa katawan naman, kaya nga po physical. May be used for jobs that require physical tasks. So mga labor, no? Manual labor. Number 3 is personality test. So personality test assess such characteristics as openness to learning, agreeableness, basta yung pag-uugali ng isang tao or personalidad, responsibility, creativity, and emotional stability. Online checks. Yan, no? Dito. Favorite topic natin to, no? So one of the newest ways of gauging whether a candidate is right for the company is by seeing what the person has to say. Huh? About him or herself on blogs and social networking sites. Doon mo nakikilala yung totoong kulay ng isang aplikante or empleyado. Usually, pag empleyado ka na, hindi na nila masyado pinapansin yan. But still, HR does check our social media accounts from time to time. No? Recent college graduates. Yan, yung mga college graduates daw, no? Looking for a job. Have found doors closed to them because of risk or teasing photos. So medyo daring, no? Titillating. Sabi nga ng mga Tito Thunders, titillating. Seductive or vivid comments about drinking, drug use, or sexual exploits. No? Siguro bata ka pa nun. Diba? Teenager ka pa lang nun, pero nakita nila yung picture mo, gumigimik, kung sino-sino yung kayakap mo, kahalikan mo, or there are some pictures that should not be in social media na in-upload. No? Or worse, meron kang mga video na nagkalat sa Facebook, let's say sa Rappi Tulpo in action, or na-videohan ka lang na nagwawala, habang lasing, nanuntok, nagbunot ng barel, road rage, and many more. Worse na yung siguro nakulong ka sa kulungan, no? Dinampot ka ng pulis. So avoid these kinds of pictures. So minsan may mga tao na mahilig magpicture na umatagay sila, no? So minimize those. I mean, wala naman pong masama, but kung matitiis nyo po, no, do not take pictures na lang or i-private nyo na lang. Companies today are not only interested in a candidate's educational and work qualifications. No? Ang HR totoong ang original na CCTV. No? Especially in this day and age, ang dali. But also in personal characteristics and values. No? So let's say, ang pinagtatrabahuan mo is more on boto kay PP Lenny, di ba? Pero in reality, post ka ng post sa ano mo, sa Facebook mo na, kunwari, go Bongbong or go Yorme, you might even be targeted for that. No? So, pinaka-safe siguro, lalo na pag nagtatrabaho na kayo, wag na lang po kayo mag-post. Especially, no, kung galit kayo sa mga bosses nyo, di ba? Wag na po mag-post. Kasi makikita at makikita nila yan. May magpapasa sa HR or si HR mismo makakatuklas. No? That fit with the organization's culture. Ako dati mahilig din po ako mag-post sa social media, but nowadays, more on stories na lang. Bahala na sila kung makita nila or hindi. I don't care. No? Pero, as much as possible, avoid posting on Facebook. Kung gusto nyo talaga mag-post, just set up a LinkedIn account. Marami pa po kayong matututunan kaysa yung mga kalokohan. No? So this one naman is, you hire the chosen applicant. Nakapili ka na ng taong para sa company. Fit with the company's mission, vision, values, and strategies and goals. So our topic for now is training. So definition and purpose of training. Ano po ba yun? So it involves an intentional learning activity that occurs when employees are given the opportunity. Opportunity to systematically acquire and develop. Ano po ba yung kailangan nilang i-acquire and develop? So knowledge, skills, and attitudes that are useful. No? Siyempre, kailangan useful. Hindi pwedeng wala lang. Diba? In successfully undertaking a task in the workplace. So this one is by Noe 2005. So medyo bago-bago pa naman po. Hindi pa naman po outdated yung idea. So thus, training programs are designed according to the actual needs. Actual needs and requirements of the workplace. No? Ano ba yung kailangan gawin sa workplace? Ano ba yung pangangailangan ng yun lang po? Hindi yung mga irrelevant sa workplace. Kung gusto mo matuto ng skills na hindi naman relevant sa workplace mo, then you spend it out of pocket. So, forms of training programs. First and foremost, you have the Employee Orientation Program or EOP. So, ano po ba meron dito sa EOP? You have here the benefit information, personal policies, daily routine, yun yung pinaka-importante actually, daily routine, company organization and operations, safety measures and regulations, facilities or office tour. No? Siyempre, papakilala ka muna nila sa lahat ng mga tao sa opisina, kung gaano man karami yun as much as possible. Pero yung focus mo siguro is more on do sa mga madalas mo makausap. So, employee orientation is also known as onboarding. So, ano po ba yung employee orientation na yan? So, it enables the new employee to feel committed to the organization, practice his or her skills. So, diba? magpapasikat siya for the next 3 months, let's say. No? Yung tinatawag namin na proving ground within the new environment of the company and less probable to leave shortly. No? So, adjusting time din po yan. So, dito medyo magaan pa sila sa'yo. You're constantly evaluated. You're constantly taught by your superiors, no? And even your colleagues. Kasi alam naman nila nanggaling naman po lahat tayo sa ganong adjustment. Na, uy, bagong ano ko dito. Kailangan makisama ako. No? So, the first part of the overall training program for the employees, si onboarding. It is also called as the induction training. Or another term is called the acculturation. So, makikiano ka sa kultura ng opisina or organization. It is a planned program of adjustment of a new hire. Yun nga, no? So, sino yung new hire? Kunwari, ikaw yun. To the new company, new job, new supervisor, new coworkers and managers. Para madali po tayo makapag-adjust, especially kung second job nyo na yan or third job, isipin nyo na lang na yun pa rin yung mga kasama nyo sa dating company. Nagbago lang po yung mga muka, nagbago lang po yung mga personalidad. Pero yun pa rin po. No? So yung may mga ka-office mate ako dati na lalayas na ako kasi galit ako kay ganito, inis ako kay ganyan. So sinasabi ko lagi, lilipat ka ng company, meron at meron ka pa rin makakabangga. Hindi nga sila, ibang tao. Nagpalit lang ng muka, nagpalit lang ng position, nagpalit lang ng tao. Pero meron at meron ka talagang makakabanggang tao. No? So, as much as possible, ano ka lang, play safe ka lang. Informal socialization, enables the co-workers to introduce the new employees to adjust. No? Para naulit lang, smoothly to the new work setting. No? Kasi ito yung tinatawag natin new normal, so hindi naman agad-agad. No? New work setting. And also start knowing the aspects of organization culture. Ito yung pinakamahirap yung kultura. Iba naman kasi kunwari ang kultura ng Jollibee tsaka McDo. Kahit nasabihin natin na same company lang naman sila magkalaban sila. Pero iba po ang kanilang kultura. Skills training and competency program. Ano naman po meron dyan sa skills na yan, no? Skills training and competency program. So, this one focuses on enabling employees to learn the skills. Ano ba yung mga kailangan mong skills para ma-perform yung iyong trabaho? No? Or to enhance competencies. Mapa-improve mo pa. To achieve a higher work performance. They are necessary for the continuous development. Ayan na, continuous development. Of skills and talents of employees. No? So, continuous development daw of, itong dalawa. Skills, talents of employees, especially in today's highly competitive environment. So, yung mga company ngayon sa empleyado na nag-i-invest. So, ano po ba yung benefits nito? Of course, number one is time management. It's user-directed, reduce cost. Ito yung pinaka-importante. Costing. Allows personalization. Tailored to the needs of the organization. Flexible. And better retention. Retention, ibig sabihin, nananatili yung mga empleyado sa isang organization. Hindi po sila lumalayas, hindi po sila nagre-resign. No? Yan. Workplace integration. So, mas smooth. Mas madali silang masanay sa company. So, team building programs naman. One of the most widely used. Yan, favorite ng lahat ng mga empleyado yan. Team building. To use Group development activities. So it's a sorry. Um, it's a group development activity in organizations and is common approach to improving performance. So, minsan kasi kailangan din ng konting relax. So, usually, itong mga team building programs na to, nangyayari po siya tuwing summer. Huh? Or kahit sa mga Christmas party or anniversary ng company. Develops team spirit among employees across units and departments and promotes, ano ba yung pinopromote niya? Camaraderie. Huh? And a greater sense of belongingness. No, hindi ka feeling alien. Hindi ka feeling nag-iisa. Especially during this time of pandemic, no. Wala kang nakakasamang tao, malungkot po. Maliban na lang kung ayaw mo sa tao, then okay lang. Pero minsan kailangan din na may makita kang ibang tao. So team building programs addresses that concern. To achieve unity and cooperation. It's another goal of the team building among organizational members. This is also a time for employees to experience wellness or recreation, no? Yun nga sabi ko, hindi puro trabaho, kailangan minsan meron ding relaxation, no? Downtime together as an entire group. Baka minsan nagkakasigawan na sila or nag-aaway na sila, nagsasabong na kasi stress na po eh. Nai-stress na sila sa trabaho nila, baka kailangan ng konting relax, no? Konting ano lang, let's say kahit outing lang eh, masaya na mga tao. So those are team building programs. And of all organization activities, one study found team development to have the strongest effect. So team development, that includes team building programs. Versus financial measures, no? Imbis na magtipid ka na magtipid o gumastos ka ng gumastos, ang team building ka na lang or team development in improving organizations performance. Malaki pong tulong. Hindi lang po nararamdaman agad-agad. Other methods of training and development. So you can have coaching and or mentoring. So ano po ba yung difference ng dalawa? So here's coaching and here is mentoring. So let's start with coaching. So it's an act or process. Ayan na, no? Act or process wherein the experienced person or aka coach provides professional advice. Professional advice. Para ka nagsisik ng psychiatrist or doctor, dentist to another person to improve the latter's work performance. So, improve performance. Improve work performance. So, merong konting link. And focuses on the here and now. No? Panandalian, ngayon din mismo, ora mismo. Rather than on the distant past or future. Again, iba kasi focus niya more on the present times. No? Si mentoring naman, ganun din naman po. It's the act or process pa rin. Wherein an experienced employee. Kasi usually ang coaching mga ano yan eh, outside the company or organization. Employee, so mentor mo naman to, no? Si mentor, so pwedeng siya yung tatay mo sa office or nanay mo sa office or someone from the company who decided to take you under his or her wing, no? So ang ginagawa naman niya kanina professional advice, this time around guides and supports. Tinutulungan kanya, no? Whether professional or personal problems, nandyan lang po si mentor sa'yo. A newcomer or less experienced employee. So, let's say ako yung less experienced, so ako yung tinatawag na protege. Or mentee. No, kanina mentor, ngayon naman mentee. Yan. Yan naman po ang mentoring. And those are the differences between the two. No? Coaching versus mentoring. So do you have any other questions between the two? No? Mukha lang pong malayo yung diferensya, but in reality, konti lang po. No? Career development. So ano naman yung career development? It's a continuing process of developing the career of personnel within the company. Diba? Parang ano yung definition, no? Very simple. No? It includes long-term career planning. Again, planning. And organizing of relevant training programs. To improve the skills. So skills naman. Skills and competencies. And thereby upgrade the position. So ito yung main concern niya, no? Si position ng mga tao in the future. It encourages the personnel to stay sa company. No? So it's a good indicator na pag pumunta ka sa isang opisina, ang makikita mo mga empleyado doon, karamihan ay mga matatanda na. No? Hindi po sila magtatagal sa isang organization or company kung hindi po sila tinatrato ng mahusay ng kanilang mga amo, di ba? Pero kung laging puro bata, alisan yung mga tao, iniiwan nila yung trabaho nila, iniiwan nila yung kumpanya, then that's not a good sign. And helps in motivating its staff to work much better in anticipation of a potential job promotion. Minsan ang mga empleyado, ito na lang yung habol nila eh. Kahit na boss, wala akong masyadong malaking sweldo, basta ma-promote lang po ako, okay na sa akin. No? Hindi ko na inaasahan yung promotion, yung sweldo na malaki. Ma-promote lang ako if they perform well. So next is succession planning. So succession planning is a strategy for identifying and developing future leaders. So this is the key. Future leaders. So sino ba yung mga pwedeng pumalit? At the organization, not just at the top, but for major levels. No? Major roles at all levels. It also helps the organization prepare for all contingency. So remember, yung contingency planning natin, ito po yun. No? Kailangan po ng succession planning. To prepare for all contingencies by preparing high potential workers for advancement. So hanggat maaari, itong mga high potential workers na to, wag niyo pong papayagang basta-bastang umalis. Diba? So 7 steps to succession planning. Hindi ko na siya masyadong i-elaborate, no? So be proactive with the plan. So kailangan, of course, meron kang plan because it's succession planning. Number 2, pinpoint potential candidates. So dapat pa lang, ngayon pa lang meron ka ng idea kung sino yung mga merong capabilities sa organization. 3, let them know. No? Minsan ang problema sa mga organizations, they fail to say or mention to that person na sila yung candidates. So akala nila, no, ini-chapwera sila or they're ignored, their efforts are not recognized, no, they get frustrated, they resign. And it's too late, no, for the company. And number 4, do a trial plan of the succession plan. So usually, pag wala yung mga boss, yan na, no, nagbibigay sila ng mga trial runs. So ikaw muna magpatakbo ng opisina habang wala ako. No? And number 5, integrate the succession plan into the hiring strategy. So of course, aangat ka, no, magkakaroon ng mga movement sa company. So, ano yung strategy naman ng HR? Strategic HR naman po ang problem. And number 6, think about the successor. Yung papalit sa position mo, ano kayang kaya niya? Ano yung capabilities niya? Paano kaya siya magpatakbo? Will he or she be the same as you or something else? And of course, last but not the least, give the position. It's been a long career for the manager. It's time to ride out into the sunset and let the other person run the show. No? Sabi nga nila sa France, no? It's a French proverb, new king, new fashion. No? So, you've done your part. It's time to go. Time to enjoy your last years, your retirement. Pabayaan mo. So this is the end of Module 11. Thank you very much. Please add me on my YouTube channel at Forever Zosa. And as always, walang forever pero may Forever Zosa. Goodbye.